Welcome to NASPA Tonight.
This is all of your Scrabble news in 25 minutes.
I'm Josh Greenway.
And I'm Jackson Smylie.
Let's talk about Scrabble.
And the time starts now.
First, let's introduce our special guest, Jillian Bathgate.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are
That's
you?
good. In case people don't know, Jillian, you're my girlfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That's right.
Like this video if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for joining us. I see people are joining in on Facebook. Thanks very much for watching. So we've got a fully packed show.
Oh man. Yeah.
How are we going to get started here, Jack?
So firstly, Jillian, we want to get to know you better as our special guest of the week. So a question everyone's dying to ask is, why does Josh always pick on me?
Because he's jealous of your rating.
First of all, I don't think I pick on you.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He
I
picks on you
think
because he's jealous.
I think we
Jealous.
I think we have fun on the show. Sorry, it's just a momentary break there, but I think we have fun on the show and we like to joke around. So I think
Off the show.
That's
That's
all.
barrage of
It's
Facebook
constant
messages.
barrage.
Oh my God.
Sarcasm. It's just awful.
But
I feel for Jackson.
thank you. I appreciate your answer. Every week he posts a little captions with our ratings. It's obviously
And he always has
not
to.
bad.
He always has to like put you down, even if you do something really great, like, oh, I won the world championship. Oh, well, you know.
So, you and Josh have been dating for how long now?
8 years. We
It
just
was-
celebrated our 8th anniversary on the week.
Congratulations! Wow,
Thank
that's
you.
one of the longer Scrabble couples.
Mhm.
Is that true?
I think so. I feel we have a lot of pretty recent couples nowadays. We'll get to that later. Some exciting news there. So how did you guys meet? Was it through Scrabble, or did one of you
Well,
get the other one into Scrabble?
we knew each other from the Scrabble club, but when we first got together, it was actually at the casino in Niagara Falls.
That's true, where we were just at Niagara Falls for the tournament.
And did you gamble to celebrate your anniversary?
I did. I lost.
That's true. I did some gambling as well. But Jackson, have you ever been inside a casino?
I actually went to the casino for my first time ever in Niagara Falls.
And you snuck in, right? Because you have to be 19 to get in.
I know, they did check my ID, but I don't know why. Beard helped. I want to take beard.
So
that was fun. Great
when-
experience.
now, if you remember this, when you walk into a casino, there's like a wall of noise. All the slot machines are going on,
Yeah.
people are
This
talking.
is the Josh version that's come after 8 years of how we met.
So 8 years ago, I was sitting at home by myself, none of my buddies were around, and I decided to go to the casino
In Niagara Falls.
in Niagara
play
Falls.
blackjack.
I got on a bus. You can take a bus to Niagara Falls from Toronto for like $10 return. So I took one of those buses. I walked into the casino, and over that din, over that wall of sound, I heard one voice cut through
Me!
all of that
I thought it
noise.
was that
Oh, it could have been.
classic.
Yeah, and I was there with Irene Gedney, and we were there just to have some fun. And Irene went to play a slot machine, tourney, and came back and said, like, what the heck, now I'm the third wheel, you two guys are together, and what's going on? And I was like, I don't know, I met this guy, and it's kind of
So you didn't know who he was at that point.
I knew who he was, but it wasn't, I just knew him from the Scrabble club.
Yeah,
I didn't
so
know him that well.
we had met each other at the Scrabble club. She was a lot better player than me back then.
What?
And but when I was going to the Scrabble club, I was with somebody. So then this was at a time where I was single, and kind of the rest is history. Is there any more to that story?
No.
We met and we talked about going to a movie.
Yeah, and it took him a week to email me,
Wow.
which I always think was too long. And he said, "You got to keep them on a slow boil."
Oh, you gotta put that pot on sizzle. All right, Jackson, that's advice for you.
Oh, man.
All right?
It's never boiled. It's been 8 years.
I'm still sizzling. So I just learned a new term right before the show. This term is called a Scrabble widow. I wonder if I'm the only one who didn't know what this word meant. Apparently, Scrabble widow is when you're in like a Scrabble couple, but one of the people in this couple plays so much Scrabble that they're always at the house, always traveling off to some next state, and the person who's left at home feels like a Scrabble widow. So, Jillian, I've heard that over Josh's year when he won the most games played, this was you. So tell us about that experience.
It's true. I mean, I was really proud of him for playing all those games, but he was away on at least one trip a month, and it was just too much. He was gone. I think that was the year my grandson was born. It was like a crazy year, but I was very proud of him for what he did.
Listen, give us a like or a comment if you know what a Scrabble widow is. And that year I played 510 games. That's that's pretty much 10 games a week for 51 weeks.
Wow.
That's
We also didn't save any money that year at all.
So anyway, for all you Scrabble widows out there, you know, it's tough, but this game is addictive, right?
For sure, and it really helps that I play. It's really nice to have a partner that plays Scrabble.
Yes, you both get it.
Yeah,
like
I understand, and we've gone through playing each other at tournaments, and we've come out the other end, and we don't have a problem doing it anymore.
So who likes to play the other one more in tournaments? Like who's happy to get the matchup and who's like angry about it?
Actually, now we're both fine. I think there was one casual tournament that we played where it ended up terrible, and there was one move that I could play to win the casual tournament, and I had to play it, and Josh got mad, and I got upset, and then afterwards I looked at him and I said, I would never forgive him if he didn't make the best move that he could play. We would never set each other up to win or lose. We always expect the best play from each other, and that kind of rivalry disappeared. And then Josh is now has a higher rating than me, and I'm proud of him. I don't feel bad for it. So we went through
smile.
we went through something, but we came out the other side.
That's right. The board was all set up. I was all ready to bingo and win, and she knocks down Taj, T-A-J.
I blocked his
and
bingo
it
out.
just, she blocked up the board.
I had to. Like, what else would you do? You would have done it. Anyone would.
I'm proud of you for making that play.
Yes. Yeah.
That's great.
So
we have a big headline of the week. Any of you who have been on Facebook know what this news is. It has to do with Scrabble couples. That's the topic of the week, but the headline of the week is, are you ready for this?
Hold on, we're almost ready.
Drum roll.
Okay, let's
It
go.
is.
Oh.
Cesar and Mina getting married.
Well, they're getting engaged.
They're engaged and they'll get married.
Probably, I don't know why you gotta put all this pressure on them, but they probably are gonna pick a day to get married.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's nice.
They are one of my favorite Scrabble couples. I don't want to say my favorite because there's so many good ones. Like you guys sitting right here. Cesar and Mina are awesome. They actually met, I think they started dating around Niagara Falls tournament last year. So
Yeah, I don't know.
Niagara Falls is a very good city for Scrabble couples.
That's right. So, and there are some awesome Scrabble couples, but these two in particular, I mean, Cesar with what he's contributed to the community with Airlift, and Mina for her work on the advisory board and just being awesome in general. Like, these two are essentially like a Scrabble power couple.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
And also I think now they're making a lot of move into the New York City scene with getting some Collins going. I'm very proud of both of them for doing that. Cesar for like switching over sometimes.
Well, has he switched? I don't know that he has switched.
Cesar is signed up for some Collins tournaments in Mexico in a few months, and I know.
Well, he's coming to Mexico. Like, I'm gonna go play Collins in Thailand probably next year.
Oh, nice.
Fingers crossed.
Josh is playing Collins.
But I'm going to Thailand to play Scrabble.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
Choice.
Yeah,
So we'll
exactly.
see. We don't have a question of the week, but comment if you think Cesar is actually going to switch to Collins for good this year.
Good call. Or should he? Or should he not?
I think
I
should.
think he should not. You're just saying that because you want to win the North American Scrabble Championship.
That's
I think Cesar has a better chance than you do to win that. So he should keep playing until he gets that.
Wow.
Wow.
But yeah,
At least Jackson has more chance than you and me put together. So
That's right. I'm just saying, I'm in Cesar's corner, and if there's I don't know how big this wedding is going to be, but if there's Anyway.
Oh, you're trying to.
We won't.
In there.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Let's go to the next headline. All right. Okay. The next headline. Oops, that's not what I wanted
Is
to
he in
do.
jail? He looks like he's in prison.
Hold on. We don't. That's not live on the screen yet. Let's go here. The next headline is if you were watching. Here's a frequent guest, Josh Jr.
Yeah, this is his mugshot. So now he thinks he can get attention.
So
The tournament.
Yeah, next we can get him out in February.
he tagged this picture with the hashtag Shave for Shediac 2018.
Yeah.
Now, Jackson, you're pretty. Everyone knows you're very close with Josh Greenway. What do you think that means?
So I'm very surprised to see this because earlier today, Josh sent me a Facebook message saying hashtag Shave for Shediac, and I was like, oh, that's funny. And I was like, this is very strange. I was like, I don't really have facial hair, so I mean, like, sure, I will. But like, I was very confused. It was like, I mean, he sends random stuff all the time. Like, I just thought it was something random. But now I'm seeing this picture, and I think it's becoming a thing. So maybe he's trying to get a movement going.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking
He's not
too.
gonna shave until Shediac.
Or maybe he will shave every day until Shediac.
I don't know.
I'm not sure what
It's
he's going
not
to do.
clear.
That's right. So it is not clear. I reached out to him for a quote on this, and I don't know how often you talk with Josh Jr. over Messenger. It's all very confusing. But it seems like he'll be clean shaven for Shediac. But maybe the idea is to grow out the beard. So Evan, I know you're watching. Maybe the idea is you can jump on this movement, grow out your beard right up until Shediac, and then shave. Or maybe shave at the place.
This is
I'm
like
thinking that'd be
those
fun.
stupid hockey playoff beards.
Yeah.
Oh, we all grow our beards.
That's
for the
right.
Shediac tournament.
Well,
I mean, I'm trying.
Okay, I'll grow a beard for the Shediac tournament. How's that? I'll grow one.
anyway, yeah, so naturally, that's what I thought of when I saw
Okay.
shave for Shediac. I just didn't know if he was talking about shaving his own beard or you were going to shave him. I don't
I'll
know.
shave his whole head there. I'll make him bald.
I still think that looks like a mugshot.
It's a good picture,
Is
though.
there a genuine Shediac?
Oh, Shediac is known to send all the pictures.
Yeah.
They have a drive-in theater, I saw that. Shediac looks like a...
They serve lobster in jail.
Yeah. This is a good time to mention, all three of the people on this screen are going to Shediac.
Yay!
I have been to Shediac all 2 times it's been run, 2 years ago and last year. Wonderful tournament. I am never going to miss this tournament ever. That's my goal in life. If you're at all considering this, please reach out, send us a comment on this video saying if you're considering going to Shediac, because you really should. It's a wonderful town. It's a wonderful tournament. If you like lobster, that's a place to be. It's just going to be a great time. You have people from all over the country, all over North America, even flying in. We saw Adam Ginsberg is signed up. He's from San Francisco.
We got Ori Swift coming in from
Yes.
Texas. Yeah, he's on the
Really?
list. Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, I'm thinking volleyball.
Wow. That's all right.
Man, these tournaments get confusing. Okay, shave for Shediac. If you want to grow your beard up until Shediac or shave in Shediac, that would make more sense. Shave in Shediac. Josh, get it together, all right? Because I was totally confused talking with you today. Okay, let's go to our next headline. This one we can make a quick one. I just want to remind everybody that all of the NASC games are on YouTube. You can find NASPA's YouTube channel by going to YouTube and searching NASPA Scrabble. All the games are on there. And when you're there, if you can do us a favor and subscribe and ring that bell, that's what they talk about in YouTube language. That is basically you ask for notifications. So when new material
Yeah.
goes on there, you get a notification. And we have a lot of video material, including, God, it's got to be 5 or 6 episodes of NASPA Tonight.
Oh,
I'm behind on in terms of uploading to that channel, but we have a lot more than that. We've got interviews, we've got other little pieces of tape. So please, YouTube channel, subscribe, hit that bell, ring that bell, and catch some world-class Scrabble.
Looks like I'm going to be a NASPA Tonight widow too.
Okay, so those were the Scrabble headlines. So now what we're going to go to is one of our popular features.
Can we check the clock?
That's a good idea.
What's it doing?
Jackson, Jillian's doing your job for you.
I mean, she's learned very quickly. I don't know how you picked up this
I
skill.
know, it took me, I've been practicing all day.
Okay,
So let's talk tournament talks. There were a couple of tournaments last week. Actually, there were a few, but these were the largest ones. They were both 1 days. Dallas 1 day. Winter came out 5-1 despite dealing with some stuff going on, which was a great performance.
Winter, that's
Awesome.
amazing.
And then the next day in Philadelphia, Joe Petrie. I don't know Joe.
Joe Petrie is the best. I made a $5 prop bet that he would do better than Glenn Dunlop at the North American Championship, and I won that prop bet.
You won it.
So
Yeah.
Joe Petrie is my new favorite scout.
Do you know Joe?
I met him in the elevator.
Great. Okay. All right. Now, let's. Part of tournament talk is we predict who the winners of these tournaments are going to be. So these are tournaments. These are the largest tournaments that are coming up this weekend. So let's first go to the largest of them with 56 players on the roster. We have the River City Wrangle in Omaha, Nebraska.
Wow, I didn't know this tournament was happening.
Really?
That's great. So, Josh.
Now I'm behind, so I should start, right? Overall, for the length of NASPA Tonight, you've had 4 correct guesses. I've had 3, so for my chance to catch up.
Go for it.
Yeah, well, we've got 3 to guess, so I'm going to go ahead. Okay, so obviously we've got Joey versus Avery. We've got Lisa and Peter. I don't know how I can go against Joey Malik.
He's looking pretty. He's at a new peak rating right now.
Absolutely.
26,
Pretty
that's
good.
crazy.
And we did a great interview with Joey Malik. If you want to see that, that's going to be on YouTube soon. Ring that bell. All right, Jackson, you make a pick.
I'm gonna have to go with Avery. I've seen him destroy some of these tournaments before.
Right.
He had a 31 game winning streak. I think he could do it again. I will go with Avery.
Yeah, now Avery, who I got to meet at Nationals,
Yeah.
super nice guy. He didn't have the greatest Nationals,
He
right?
did, but he wasn't alone in that. This Nationals is weird. If you go to Cross Tables and check out the tournament results, there were a lot of top players that had really rough Nationals.
Yeah, sounds like an excuse. Jillian, who do you like in this field?
I'm going to pick the ladies, so I'm going to pick Lisa over.
Lisa,
she could easily
always strong. Okay, let's move on to, let's go to Manhattan. So we've got a division of 8 here. We've got Cesar playing this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Jackson, who do you like?
I think Joe Headley is going to dethrone the North American champion and go on to win the biggest tournament of the year.
Ooh, go on to
That's
win
good.
the biggest tournament. What do you mean the
This
biggest
year.
tournament? This is not the biggest tournament of the year. But they are sitting on 36 players. It's a 1 day, 8 games. It's TWL only for now, but I think they're trying to get some Collins people. So if you want to play Collins in Manhattan, you should check in on this tournament. My pick here is going to be, I'm going chalk. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that term.
Yes.
Yeah, what does it mean?
Chalk means when everything expected happens.
Yeah, so I'm going chalk. Let's go Joel. I love the interviews. I love the interviews that I did with Joel at NASC, and that's pretty much how I'm picking it. Jillian, who do you like here?
Do I have to pick someone other than the ones you picked?
No, you can.
No, you can pick
No, you know
anyone.
what? I'll pick Cesar because maybe he's on a roll because he just got engaged and he's all happy and maybe his memory's got better. I don't know.
I don't know. When's the last time Cesar was on a roll? Okay, let's go on to Indianapolis. So, Indianapolis, this is 36 players as well. 1 day, 8 games. TWL only for now.
Josh, take it away.
All right, let's just.
You're gonna go chalk again.
I'm going chalk. I'm going Marty. I feel like I've guessed Marty before and he's let me down, but I don't know. Jax?
I will go with the second highest rated person. I'll go with Paul. I don't think I've met him before, but I have all my faith in him.
All right, and Jillian.
I will go with Kaya because I know her. She's a really interesting lady, and I met her and I've played her, and she's a really good player. So it would be a surprise if she won, but yay, go.
So, and Kai always wins most states and most
Yeah,
provinces,
because she
which
travels
is
a lot.
that's really cool. Okay, let's move on to our feature story of the night. Now, what are we talking about here? I want to show everybody a picture. I don't know if set this picture up. Oh, of course, it's all stretched out. This is Michael Wise. Michael Wise, who is sadly no longer with us, is a very important figure in Scrabble. And I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about Michael. Michael is a guy who basically established the Toronto Scrabble Club. He wasn't the first director, but he became the main director for almost the entire first part of the club's life before John Chu took it over. Michael also worked with Hasbro Canada to establish the Canadian National Scrabble Championship. He directed the first World Scrabble Championship, which took place in New York. He was a key figure in developing how our rating systems work. This guy is, like to use a baseball analogy, some people go into the Hall of Fame as founders. This is one of those guys. And we have a tournament up here in Canada every year in September or October in Toronto called the, called the Michael Wise Memorial Scrabble Tournament. You may have seen that name before because the Person of the Year in NASPA, that is the Michael Wise Person of the Year Award.
Oh, really?
Okay. So Michael Wise is a very important figure. So I wanted to, I just wanted to introduce him, and then we're going to talk about this particular tournament. And one of the reasons we're talking about this is because Jillian is on the show. Now, Jillian, you've played some of these events. Is that true?
Yeah, I've played it 18 years in a row.
Wow.
Longer than you've been alive, Jackson.
Even when I took my break from Scrabble, because I did, because I got really angry and I couldn't take losing, I still played that tournament, and I actually won it in 2002. I won there was a D division. There was so many players at that time. There was maybe 120 players from all over America, Canada, and the world. And it was really memorable to me because I think it was my first big tournament that I won. And I went 10-2 plus 624. And the person, I wrote this down, but the person who came second went 10-2 plus 623. So I won by 1 point in the cube. And I remember asking, I was so nervous that I was going to lose the last game that I asked Tony Lear, how many points could I lose by? And he said, you can lose by 125 and still win it. And I lost by 125 and I still won. And I won like $350 or something. It was my biggest win ever.
And what happened with the number 2 player? What did she say to you?
Oh, she said, oh boy, I didn't think you would bring that up. She asked me if we should share the prize because we were so close.
What
and
did you say to that?
I said, no! I said, that's like coming 0.001 of a second behind in the Olympics. And no, I'm not sharing my prize. And I asked John Chu and he said, no, you're not sharing that prize. And then I felt terrible, but it was great. It was fun.
But you were rich, so.
I was rich. Yes.
So think of this, right? You said it was 2002?
2002, that was my third year that I played it. Yeah.
Jackson, you weren't born yet, but there were 30 people in the
28, I believe.
28 in
D
4 with a $350 prize for first place. I mean, I don't know that anybody's getting the $350 prize at the Mike Wise these days.
And it was huge.
One of the things about Scrabble is some of these tournaments, because we have so many more tournaments these days, is there aren't necessarily as many tentpole events, right? If you talk with players from back then, a lot of them would, like you'd only get a tournament that was drivable every 6 to 8 weeks or something like that.
But we would get like 20 players from a New York club.
Yeah.
We would get a bunch of players coming up from a special club, which we don't see that anymore. There was all these people. I mean, if you ask people where they were from all over the place, all different states. Now it tends to be locals, much closer to home.
And I think it's because players have a lot more options. They've got a lot closer options. The proliferation of one days, There are more and more directors who can put events together.
And especially in Toronto. If you look at the cross tables calendar, Toronto in the fall season, you could
It's
play
crazy.
Scrabble every week
Yeah,
if you
you
wanted to,
can,
which
yeah.
is not really an exaggeration.
Yeah,
If you extend it out to Ontario, you probably can play every
Yeah.
weekend.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. So ultimately what happens is these kind of tentpole events decline a little bit. And that's what we were going to talk about tonight. I wanted to show a couple of graphs here. This covers from 2004 to 2017. This shows main event attendance. So you can see back in the mid 2000s, up over the 100 players in the main event. And it's gone steadily down. And then also, this is total games played. The line is a little bit flatter here, but that's because partially, I'll take some level of credit. Basically, in 2015, I got involved with this tournament, and we started adding more events, Nightbirds, stuff like that, which helped the number of games being played stabilize a little bit. You see that last peak there, that was 2015. And then since then, it's sort of leveled off. But basically, we've been able to hold it above the line from 2014, essentially.
And that's with a lot of effort, though, to put all those extra, we taught extra things on, like Nightbirds and Early Birds and
it definitely
Speed Scrabble.
It
and all
definitely
kinds of
puts
stuff.
more pressure on the director of the event and staff and stuff like that. And what's gone on with that is we've brought in other Canadian directors, like Jason and Sue directed a Collins portion of the tournament for us. Trevor Seeley directed the Early Bird. Some other directors
We
took
did Late
on
Bird one year
different
too.
late birds, stuff like that. We also did more in the way of outreach, like individual outreach. So what we thought we would talk about tonight is sort of, what do you do with an event like this? Like, this is an important event around Toronto anyway. So I wanted to throw the question open to you guys. I've got my kind of thoughts on this one. Like, what you would do with an event like this, because you can either let it continue to decline. I think we've seen large events decline over time. Some of them a little deeper than others. This would be one of those ones.
Well, the bat went away for a while, and then it came back,
Just came
right?
back
So it just came
So it
back.
got reimagined.
And that
That's
was
certainly
huge. That was a huge
Yeah.
tournament. So
I think this is something you can expect with most yearly tournaments, I think. With the exception of maybe nationals and a few other huge ones, I think you can expect this because if you have like a similar experience every single year, people will gradually not be as inclined to take time out of their days to repeat this experience every single time. Which is not to say it's not an important event, because it really is. And we are all feeling the lasting effects of Mike Wise's contribution to Scrabble. But as a tournament, especially with so much saturation in the field in Toronto, I think it's expected that most yearly tournaments will probably decline as they become replaced with other ones like Niagara
Right.
Falls and the GTA Championship, big one.
Kingston.
But we also raise money for cancer
Yeah.
charity, which
That's
is
right.
a very important thing. So I think there could be more marketing, more pushing it, more getting new people. There could maybe even something to do with new players, because we need to get newcomers in more, and we need to bring more newcomers in and try and get them to stay, because otherwise it's just going to decline more and more and more.
This is one of the things that I'm interested in bringing to this tournament. And to be honest, like, things just get so busy with nationals and everything else, and where this thing is on the schedule. It's very difficult. So it's always a tournament that it's difficult to get John Chu's attention. Super busy guy. With me, I find it hard to put a lot of work into it because of now working at nationals. So probably broadening out the number of people working to build this tournament would be important. But also what I want to see happen is, it's always been run the same way, 3 divisions plus a Collins.
Well, it used to be 4, so it's gone down to 3.
Yeah, I shouldn't say always, but
In
for a
fact,
long time.
we maybe have even had 2 divisions last year.
We did only have
We
2
only
because
had
we
2.
didn't have enough
Because we
A
didn't have
players.
enough A players, so we basically had B and C called A and B.
So what I would do is I would split it into a 2-division tournament, basically A and B. A, an actual entry fee and cash prizes. B, I would make like a $20 entry fee and do merchandise prizes, and like social media shout outs or certificates or something like that as prizes.
In the ratings, though?
So I did a lot of thinking about that. In Niagara Falls, they do it at 1,300.
Mhm.
I would probably do it for this event at like 1,100, something like that. That sounds about right to me. Maybe 1,000. Why?
My
Where would
rating
you
is
want to see that?
1065.
Well, you can play up.
I don't want to be in. I want to pay my money and play the big boys, and I don't care if I lose. I don't care if I don't win the money. I don't want to play for a certificate or something.
Yeah, so we're gonna do unlimited play-ups. So anybody who wants that experience can have it.
Well,
But
then I would be
also,
willing to do that.
I would just see that as more, closer to a newcomers event. It's not what you would traditionally call a
Right.
newcomers event, but that's kind of what I would do with that. But I wanted to throw the question out to the audience: is what would you do with a tournament like this? Mike Wise, it's got a really important legacy. I want to give a shout out to Linda Wise right now. Linda, Mike's widow, has been a very important part of the Toronto Scrabble community, the Toronto Club, and this tournament in particular. Jillian talked about the charity that it goes to
And
support.
Linda always does a great job. There's always food. There's always
There's a really nice
Jack
lunch.
Tourney. It's really good. And Evan says there were 6 divisions my first Toronto tourney in 1997. So 6 divisions. Holy cow.
In 1997, your dad was like 12. So anyway, if you have thoughts on what to do with a tournament like this, how you would reorganize it, throw it into the comments. We'd love to hear from you on that. So that's our feature story. There's going to be more marketing for this tournament. It's on the calendar for October 25th. Toronto's a beautiful place to come visit, and this is a fun tournament. There are lots of great people. We're all going to be there, right, Jackson?
Maybe.
Okay.
We're going to be in Shediac.
Oh, we in Shediac. We'll see everyone in Shediac.
Okay, that is our feature story. Let's move on to, how are we doing on time, Jackson?
Oh, we are well over time, as we are wont to do.
How over are we?
We are almost 7 minutes over.
Okay.
It's a rough one.
We lost 70
So many
points
stories.
then.
Lost 70 points.
No
I see.
videos.
So let's, are there some things we can promote? Why don't you talk about Ottawa first?
Yes, besides Shediac, which obviously everyone should go to, we have an auto tournament coming up in Labor Day, which is the end of August, beginning of September. Is Labor Day.
Whoa.
I don't know why I don't know that.
It's September 3rd.
September 1st to 3rd.
Something.
So I think it's also organized by Jason Sue, who ran the Niagara Falls tournament, which is the same city where Josh and Jillian met. Like, there's just too many coincidences here.
Oh yeah.
I'll be going. Ori Swift will be going, as Josh mentioned. Jillian, are you gonna go to that one?
I'm not going to that one, but Josh is going to.
So you're gonna be a Scrabble widow.
I am going to be a Scrabble widow.
Yeah,
That's
I'm going
right
there.
Sometimes.
Ottawa's a great place. They've got a great community of players there. They have multiple world and national champions
Yeah.
that come out of there.
Like, arguably the 2 best players in Canada right now live in Ottawa, which is pretty crazy.
Who are they?
They are Adam Logan and Matthew Tunnicliffe.
Right.
I didn't move to Ottawa,
Are
guys.
you
I know
number
you all
3?
on
Are you
it,
number 3?
but I'm not sure.
2.5.
Yeah, by rating on it.
2.5.
Yeah. But Ottawa's a great tournament. I've historically done pretty badly in Ottawa, so I'm going to get some vengeance next weekend, if I can get time off work.
There was some kind of controversy with the pairings last year.
I think this year, all of that is
Yeah.
gone. It's going to be much more
Jason
clear.
Sue,
I had always done badly in Ottawa, but I managed to have a good tournament
you had
last
a
time.
great tournament.
I took care of Josh Jr. I checked out his Quackle commentary, whatever. It's Quackle, right? Where you post the game analysis. There's some funny lines in there. And I took care of Michael Fagan a couple of
That was
times.
back to back as well, I'm pretty sure.
So
Did you win the B class?
I won the B class, but those are the guys that I was playing, and I finally got one over on Anita Rackham to win the B division at the end. I think I was she'd always beat
How
me.
much money
Anyway,
did you win there?
the money's not important.
Oh, yeah, it is. It comes
That was
to
the
you.
winning.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ottawa, we want to remind people to check out Shediac. We also want to remind people to go to the NASPA YouTube page.
Isn't there a Stratford tourney the week after
Yeah.
Ottawa too?
Yeah.
Stratford.
September 7th, one day, if you enjoy theater.
So I also
Check out
feel bad
Scrabble.
because I feel like we're always giving shout outs to our local tournaments. Like obviously I want people to go to Shediac and Ottawa because I'm going there and I want to see everybody. But are there some non-local tournaments around North America that you guys think need some shouting out right now?
Absolutely, it feels like you've got a list ready to go, right?
Do I? That was the expectation, but I don't have any great
I think what we should do is
Josh
say
and
this.
I are planning on going to, is it Asheville?
Yes, Asheville, North Carolina.
We've
That's
heard
a
it's a great tourney, and we've heard it's an interesting place to see. And for me, it's combining Scrabble with seeing somewhere that I haven't seen before.
And music, dude.
Yeah, and
Okay,
music and not
I was
just-
thinking Nashville, sorry. Not
no, but it's
I also want to go to Nashville.
Yeah, I
I
want to
do
go
too.
to Nashville too. But it's doing stuff. It's going to places where you can do Scrabble and do interesting stuff other than Scrabble.
Okay, I think the point is support your local director. These people put these events on.
Yeah.
They hope people will come. Scrabble's a lot of fun. You get to hang out with people and play Scrabble. What's better than that? Check Cross Tables. Great site. Go to a local tournament. That's what we're going to say here. I want to wish a few people a happy birthday. I want to say happy birthday to Sam, to Mariah, to Frank, to Kevin, to Nicholas, to Adele, to Heidi. We love all of you, and we hope you had a very happy birthday. And that's going to do it for the show. Thanks very much, Jillian, for being
you.
here.
Welcome.
Thanks to Jackson for finally showing up tonight and being on the show. And Jackson, you've been working on a sign-off all week. What's
I've been working on a sign up all week. Today it's going to be all of your NASPA news in 25 minutes after an 11-minute delay.
Okay. Thanks, everybody,
Thanks
for
so
watching.
much.
We love you. That's why we do the show. We'll see you next week
Well over. We
on
love
time. Right, Jackson?
On time.
On time.
Forfeit tonight.
Bye,
everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.